Okay, welcome to Community Review. And today, my guest is the experienced sales professional, the long-time community owner, and one of my oldest friends on Skool, Chris Suckling. Welcome, Chris. How are you
Oh,
doing?
thanks, Paul. Fantastic introduction. Love it. You
There you
make me
go.
sound very important.
Because you definitely are. So, how's your Sunday going so far?
Yeah, pretty good. It was well for me. It was going to be a relaxing day, and then I got caught up
Okay.
in AI tools, and then that didn't work, and then I spent the rest of the day fixing it. So it's turned into a work day.
Well, for those who don't know, Sundays are basically the only day that you have any free time at all. Is that right?
Pretty much, yeah. Unless you catch me last thing at night, yeah, yeah. It's
Oh yeah.
Sundays for me.
So did you
Yeah.
manage to get any relaxing or still mostly work?
I got a bit of relaxing first thing this morning, and then frustration with trying to fix things. But the good news is it was all fixed. It's mission accomplished, but I've lost half of the weekend. So there you go.
All worked out at the end.
There you go. Yeah, exactly. Got some value out of it anyway.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are an owner of the community called Direct Sales Mastery.
Yeah.
What is Direct Sales Mastery?
Ah, right. Okay. All right. So this is great because I don't know any of these questions. So this is an absolute shocker to me. So I hope
I
you're not
hope
going to
this
be
is
like
new
the
to
bad
you.
press that throws something nasty at me. Right. Okay. So yeah, it's a direct sales community. Now the idea is that during the week, I'm the manager of a sales branch for home improvements. So we've done very successfully with that branch. I started a different community previously, as you well know, with a bit less focus. But as sales is what I do, I decided that would be probably a good direction to go in. So that's what it's about. It's helping professionals and trainers to be able to learn to sell better, to be able to maybe refine the sales processes, um, and build a successful business for themselves. Because it seems like
Okay.
sales is the thing that scares everyone. So
Why
it's
did you decide to move into a more specialized community, into specialized sales community?
um, the reality is that with the prosperity network that I had previously, it was always meant to be a lot more vague. But as I started finding out what other people wanted, everyone was just asking me for sales help. So it's like,
Yeah.
this is ridiculous. I'm in sales, I do sales, and yet my community is based around something else. So it took me a bit of time to find that focus, um, to be able to direct it in something that I really know about and that I can really help people with. Um, Without it being a hobby type thing. It's right down my street, basically. It's exactly what I do all week. It's what I'm good at, and it's getting other people there to help them to make money and create leads and sell leads. So,
Yeah, and it certainly seems that specialized communities perform better on School if they teach a specific niche, a specific thing.
I definitely think so now with the growth boost thing. Now there's external meta advertising that are actually targeting niches. Yeah, for sure. When I first started this community, I was having general people come in, people that you've seen in other communities. Well, you know yourself, Paul, we've had the same circle of people, and they're not
Absolutely.
necessarily in our niche at all. It's just
Yeah.
people that you get to know. Definitely since Growth Boost has come in, there's been more salespeople or people that are that way inclined to come into the community. Yeah, yeah, for sure. So it's definitely helping to bring the right people in that are looking for the same thing as me, effectively.
Well,
But
well,
school, all is good.
it's
We like all kinds of people. That's what it is, isn't it?
absolutely, and it's very good to hear. And it seems like you're doing very well in your new or low, specialized sales community. And the idea behind community review is that I basically already sort of reviewed your community by myself, and I reviewed it from a community builder's standpoint. And I
Oh, okay.
selected,
Yeah.
I selected a few things that I think that you do well in your community as a community builder. And those few things are sort of the topics I would like to talk with you today about. Does that sound good?
Yeah, sure. I thought you was going to pick on the things that I didn't do so well. You scared me for a minute.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, absolutely.
unfortunately, we're focusing on only on the positives here. We're only
Yeah,
trying to show the
why
positive
not?
things. So,
Yeah,
so you know, people are safe here. We're not putting them down on too much.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, one of the things that are very interesting to me is member onboarding, and member onboarding is when people join our communities, we welcome them into communities. We establish the relationship with them, and we make the communities more familiar to them. And I think that you do the member onboarding really well. So, in your opinion and in your experience, is member onboarding overall important in a community?
I think I think definitely a quick early contact is important. Yeah, so that when people come in, so let's face it, when you join the community, it's normally because you're ultra excited about what they offer, and then if you're left alone for a little bit, your interest might start to disappear. So yeah, I definitely think it's an early contact without being too full on is a good move. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, without a doubt.
So, absolutely, I agree with you. What happens in your community, or what happens if you join other communities and you don't get that connection from the owner in the beginning? What do you feel? What do you
Personally,
participate in those communities?
I think with a community, if the direction's easy to understand, it's probably it's not too much of an issue. I mean, I've gone in communities and it's very, very clear what the direction of the flow is, of
Yeah.
where to find the benefit or, what route to follow with it. I think the bigger problem is where you have, a welcome post that's 3 posts down. There's no welcome DM. There's nowhere clear to go in the classroom, or a lot of really long messages. The ones I struggle with are people that post huge, great posts that have got a lot of instructions. I'm like, no, no, I don't have the attention span for it. So for me, it's just simple, yeah, simple stuff. I mean, one thing I've learned in my sales job is that you treat every customer like a 4-year-old child, like they know nothing. That doesn't mean you're like rude and sarcastic, but what it does mean is that it's so easy to think that people understand when they haven't got a clue what's going on. So if you keep it really, really simple and easy to follow, then
How do you overcome and how do you achieve that so that when new people join in your community, it's easy to follow them step by step? How do
what
you
what
create that sort of process?
what I tend to do. So I've got if I have an opportunity, I'll try and put a loom together for each person. But I'll be honest with you, I'm very often
Okay.
too busy to be able to do that. I always make sure there's a welcome message that goes out at least once a day if there's new members. I try and stick it to once a day, actually, even if it's putting multiple members on it, because there's nothing worse than
Mhm.
5,000 welcome posts in a row. Um, I do have an auto DM that goes out, and that has quite a quick sequence of follow ups. So there's an initial, welcome to the community, I'm Chris type post. And then 5 minutes after that, if there's no response, it will follow up with a question to try
Okay.
and get some engagement. And if there's no response, it will follow up after 6 hours with another comment. And then I'll let it fly because not everyone wants to talk, you know.
Yeah.
So I try to gain some early engagement in that way. And I would rather do that personally, to be honest. I do run an AI sales bot in DMs. As I think you're probably aware, you've probably hit it a couple of times. Hopefully, it's
I,
not
I
too
I saw it.
noticeable.
I saw that in action. Absolutely, it
I've had
works
a
well.
few people that can't tell the difference, which is great.
It took me a while to realize that. Actually, it took me a few messages to recognize that it was actually AI.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
me.
So what I try to do with that is if I'm at my computer, I'll turn it off. because I would rather respond myself. But the scenario I don't want is someone messages me and then they're waiting 10 hours for a reply.
Absolutely.
So I've got a follow up system that will follow up if it's confident in the answers that it's giving, and for the most part, that's been very good. So I think a lot of it's just urgency. It's just getting people engaged quickly,
Yeah.
following up quickly. Um,
So you have all these different steps you do that new member joins. So how many steps would you say that you have in total as your member onboarding process?
oh God! So there's a pinned post,
Print post, yeah.
which, if I'm honest, not too many people reply to.
Okay.
There's DMs that will go out, and then there'll be a personal message that goes out, and that's as far as I'll take it. And then when the
Mhm.
conversation comes, I'll guide people in the right direction, find out
And,
what they're
and
looking for. I might guide them to a course in the classroom. They might even be appropriate for them to book a clarity call if they're really keen and interested, or stuck with a
yeah.
problem, and try and get communication going. You know.
Mhm. Do you do these steps step by step every time, or do you do like in a randomized order?
Um, well, the DMs go out automatically, and then it's
Yeah.
just dealing with replies as they come in. The pin post is the pin post that's there all the time. And generally, every evening, I'll put out a welcome post for any new members. So,
Yeah.
really, to be honest, I've got it for the most part automated. You
Yeah.
know, unless I'm getting involved with any DMs directly, even the booking process for calls is automated. So,
Yeah. It's
you know my lack of
if you
time,
don't
Paul. I
have
try and
time.
plug all the gaps,
Yeah.
make it work. Yeah,
Absolutely. So one thing that I do, at least, uh, uh,
yeah,
and you can comment on that if you like. What I do is I have 4 steps in my member onboarding process. So, and I do them
okay,
step by step every time.
yeah,
The first step is the DM.
mhm,
The second step is the new member post. I make the post for new members. The
yeah,
third step is the welcoming post, and the
yeah,
fourth step is the one-on-one call. So it goes sort of like a funnel, and these 4 steps, each step directs members to the next step,
yeah,
and it creates a journey through the community. So first the DM, then they go to the welcoming post, then
yeah,
that post directs them to the pinned
yeah,
post,
yeah.
and there's a link to book a call. So sort of creates
Cool.
the
Yeah,
journey.
yeah.
Have you seen people try, or perhaps have you tried that? And
Well, the way I do it is actually the same process that I keep is exactly what we teach in the community. So I'm sure you're aware we've got a a, a 3-step call process, which is basically DM, clarity call, strategy call to get to a sale. So all of the DM communications I have are more fact finding than they are anything else. Finding out where that person is at the moment, finding out where they want to be, finding out whether they're potentially a good fit for what I can offer. So
yeah,
if they're not a good fit and they're just random people, that's absolutely fine. We'll have a chat. If there's any prospect of actually being able to help them, then I'll get a clarity call booked. We'll go through what their requirements are, what they're looking to achieve, what's stopping them getting there. And if I feel that's a good fit, then I'll book a second call, which is a strategy call where I'll put a package together for them. So
okay,
yeah, everything ultimately is about call booking, even through the
yeah,
classroom courses. At the end of each course, there's a, you know, if you're ready to up your game, book a clarity call. So the whole thing is about booking that 3-step process. But that 3-step process is exactly the same thing as a teach in the community. So it's like, hang on a minute, you did that to me. Yeah, exactly. That's the
mhm,
process. So once they've understand that they bought from that process, they then understand how easy it is to sell using that process, something of value without it being pushy. And that's the point.
absolutely. And what you said, that actually transitions very well into my next topic, or my next point that I see you're doing in your community. and it's scheduling calls with new members when they join. So I already touched a little bit on that, but I want to ask you. So when I join Skool communities personally, some of the owners offer me offer to schedule the call with me, while other owners don't offer me to schedule the call with them. And I know that you do. I know that you offer your new members to have one-on-one calls. So
Yeah.
why do you want to have the calls with new members, like in general?
Well, because the truth is, it's personal
Is
contact.
it purely for sales, or are there some other reasons?
No, no. So two types of call. First one being a clarity call, or some would call it a discovery call. All that
Yeah.
is, it's not a sales call. All that is about finding out something about those people, finding out what they do, what they want to achieve, seeing whether we're a potential fit. Sometimes I'll end up buying from the people that are on a clarity call. So it's not it's not a sales call in any way, shape, or form. It's a fact-finding situation so that I can
Mm,
figure out whether that person would qualify as a customer. Does that make sense? So it's just a kind of
absolutely.
getting to know you call, seeing if we can figure that out. So what I'll do is I'll find out where they are at the moment, what their struggles are with sales, whether they've got any. I'll find out where they want to be in, say, the next 3 months' time. I'll find out what they feel they need to do to get there and what's stopping them getting there. And that's it. And then if I feel it's a good fit, I'll suggest that I'll go away and put something together for them. We'll book another call and then I'll do a sales call. So what I'm not doing is selling to people that don't want to buy. It's
Yeah.
selling to the
And I
appropriate
think
people that want your service. Yeah.
I think that's the most important, and I think that that's what people are mostly afraid of. A lot of people don't book calls because they're being afraid being sold to.
Yeah, yeah.
So when you offer people to schedule the calls, do you make it? Do you say that, look, it's not gonna be sales, it's not gonna be, I'm not gonna sell you,
Yeah.
don't worry, something like that. Make a
Yeah.
distinction.
Absolutely. Should we hop on a call? Let's see where you're at in the business, see if there's anything I can do to help. That's it. It literally, if it's possible that I can help you, call. That's what it is.
Okay.
I would not even make someone an offer on a first call, not unless they were absolutely, what can you do for me? I'm ready to invest. I'm ready to do
Yeah,
this. That might be a different scenario, but it absolutely is not a sales call because unless you find out that customer's position, how do you know what to offer?
absolutely.
That's so I do promote passively to book a call in the community, or I might put out a post occasionally saying, but by the way, are you aware my calendar's a little bit free this afternoon? I've got places for calls.
Yeah.
But what I'm not going to do is try and push for calls. So I'll try and have a conversation with someone, and if it's appropriate to do it, then we'll do
Mm.
it. If not, then we won't. I don't think everyone's a customer. It's about
Yeah.
qualifying people.
Do you offer people to book calls more through DMs or more in the posts?
None in DMs, 100%.
What would you say is the percentage like?
Oh, I would say that
Let's say
the
of the
calls,
people who book,
yeah,
or how many what kind of percentage book through the DMs, and how much book through the posts?
I would say there's probably out of the people that reply in DMs, probably 1 in 5 will book something like that.
Only
I
out
think,
of those who reply, right?
yeah, out of the
Not the
people
ones
that
who join.
no, no.
Okay.
A lot that join, I'm sure you've had the same thing. A lot that join don't even reply to a DM.
Yep.
You have the Heidi people.
Absolutely.
So I concentrate more on the people that I've got a contact with, and
Mhm.
I reckon 1 in 5 of the people that I can start up a good conversation with in DMs will book a call. Um, probably one in probably only 1 in 5 of them would be worth making an offer to.
Okay.
But if I make an offer to someone, I'll sell 1 in 2. So if I
And
put an offer together, I'm confident before I make an offer of what the result's going to be.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
So in a situation where you talk with someone in the DMs, and you offer them to have a call, and perhaps they don't reply to your offer, right? Do you follow up? And if you do, like, how many times do you follow up? How frequently do you do that?
Um, I will follow up when I think it's appropriate. I think if someone's just wandered off and their attention's wandered off somewhere, I might, give them a few days and go, "Hi, how you doing? How's your community working out?" Or "How's the business going?" and see if anything starts up from that. If someone's intentionally ended the conversation, I'm not going to follow up. I'm not there to. We are a sales community, but I'm not there to push people into buying. That's not what it is. It's about finding people that are a good fit that you can work with. That's the way I see it. And you know what? I had a
That
period
makes
a little
sense.
while ago where I wasn't sure who to follow up with, so I've got an MCP link through Clause, and I'm like, right, who needs to follow up? Well, these people have done the course, these people have done that, so they'll probably be
Mm,
good people to follow up with, you know. So
that's nice.
got got all of the stats to be able to look at it. It's nice to know who's completed courses because that gives you a good idea of who's serious and who's not.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
they actually put the effort into complete a course, then it's good to
Yeah.
get some feedback on that.
Would you say that those people who complete courses are warmer leads?
Yeah, 100%, because they're obviously showing a genuine interest in the product.
Yeah.
You know, let's be honest. There's a lot of people that come into communities at the moment. Certainly, that I'm finding that come in. They don't have a community of their own. They're a member of 1,500 communities, and they're looking just to be able to drop a spam post. You know, and that that isn't. Don't get me wrong, some of them are actually salespeople that are looking for leads, which
Yeah.
there's absolutely no issue with that if that's their agenda. But I'm not going to go around chasing people that have never got any intention of being part of that community and just looking to promote their own. There's just no sense in that. So yeah,
Yeah.
look, at the end
So
of the day, I think it's about building interest and focusing on people that are interested,
yeah.
people that want to
W-
improve, people that are a good fit for it.
would you say that having calls is part of your onboarding funnel or not? On new member onboarding funnel?
I would Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I guess that depends on what stage you look at it at. I mean, if I could get an early clarity call booked to get to know someone, yeah, I'll do it. Um, if someone's up for that, yeah, I guess so. I guess so.
Mm,
I mean, I guess it
yeah.
depends on what the time scale is from someone coming in to booking a call.
Well, do you see a possible connection between perhaps people who have gone through the onboarding process and they participated in those sort of activities that you do for the onboarding? Do they do more of them book calls compared to those who didn't go through the onboarding process, for example?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. People that come in and they do the courses and you guide them to a course and you get feedback from
Yeah,
them, you find them how they found it, if it helps them. It's easy to find out where someone's at. And then when someone's very open and honest about where they are, it's easy to book a call and help them. And
yeah,
that's what you're looking for, really, is people that want to be helped. That's
yeah,
that's
absolutely.
it.
And in my experience,
Yeah,
I think 90% of people who booked calls, they also replied to me in the DMs. They
yeah,
also commented on the welcoming post and so on.
yeah,
I had some people, I think, who perhaps booked calls without replying, to the
yeah,
welcoming post or somewhere. But I see a very strong positive correlation, between people
yeah,
who go through onboarding funnel and book calls and become leads and potential sales. So
yeah.
at least I see that connection
100%.
between member onboarding and scheduling
Yeah,
calls.
yeah, yeah. At the end of the day, the way I look at it is if I can, I it's about for me finding the 15% or whatever it is of people that actually want to take an active interest. Someone that is serious about changing what they do. In my case, to be able to make money and make sales. And if I'm honest, a lot of people haven't got that mindset. So it's very much for me a case of filtering out the people that want to, and then taking that further with
Yeah.
those people. You know,
And
the,
that's essentially is the reason of the onboarding funnel. And there's even like a recommendation to, to do the longer onboarding process on purpose so that you filter more people, and the people who don't go through the onboarding process, they wouldn't go. It doesn't matter if it's easy, if it's short onboarding process or a long one, but those who do, if they go through the longer onboarding process, they will be even more familiar with the community. They will be even more engaged that way. So
yeah.
so essentially, there's very little downsides of having like a short onboarding process, if that makes sense.
I think it's just that process. I just think at the end of the day, you need to follow up with people. You need to at some point ask people for the business, and if you've got that in the link, then the rest is numbers. You know, and that's it. I still think probably most of the better people that I get are coming in as referrals anyway, rather than from anywhere else. They've been referred in from another member.
I have noticed that as well.
Yeah,
Those people
100%.
who are referred, they're good members, very good members usually.
Yeah, yeah. I don't honestly believe there's a lot of great members ads, because all that happens is they come into Skool for a bit and then they disappear again. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like Skool users because they stick around. They're always there, you know.
They usually do, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
they know the platform. They are probably in multiple communities. They know how it
yeah,
works.
yeah,
They like to participate.
yeah.
Okay, and what I want to talk about now is sort of the third point, and now we're going into into actually making sales, and the first point that I wanted to talk with you about, you already touched, and that's that you do the three calls, two or three calls, and you only try to sell on the third call, right? So you don't sell on the first call. That's right.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A-
yeah,
and
correct.
and and that to me is very interesting, and I would like to get more into that. And so what so how does that work? You go on the first call with a person. What do you do on that first call? What do you talk about with them?
The first call is it's got a rough structure to it, but not like an interrogation. It's got a rough structure to it, finding out
Like
where
we
they
do
are
right
with their
now.
business, finding out what they sell. Yeah, yeah. um, yeah, finding out what things are looking like, finding out where they want to be in the next three
Yeah.
months, what's stopping them getting there. It's nearly always people that come in my community. It's either they don't have enough leads, they don't have enough sales, or they're looking for sales rep, or they're actually looking for a sales job. So I've actually found quite a lot of
Okay.
that coming in at the moment as well.
So they have different goals and sort of different
Mm,
problems.
there definitely are, yeah. Um, so then it's finding out where they want to be and then what they're currently doing about it. And if I can figure out that bridge from there to get them to where they need to be, that's what I'm looking to do at the moment. Find out, actually qualify that person, whether I can help them, whether I can get them the result they want. Because what I'm not going to do is take
Mm.
someone's money and then not deliver on the result. That's just terrible, you know. I am a window salesman, but I don't sell people stuff that doesn't benefit them, you know. Um, so, yeah, being able to find those things out so that if they're then interested in acting on that, we'll book a second call and I'll put a proposal to them. I'll put something together. I'll always be on a call when I put an offer their way.
Yeah.
So the second call will basically summarize where they are at the moment, a little bit of a recap where they want it to be. I'll propose what we can do about it, and then I'll put a plan together as to how they can get there.
And the first call is is as much as trying to understand their goals, but it's also trying to understand what you can do for them and if you can do anything for them, right?
Absolutely, yeah, yeah. Finding out whether it is a good fit, because
Whether you're a good fit for each other
yeah,
in that
absolutely.
sense.
If I don't think that they're going to apply themselves to do what they need to do, I can't help them. It just end up me having a bad reputation when they leave a 2-star review because they haven't done the work.
Yeah.
It's, that's not a good look, because it's really seeing whether it can actually be done. Um, seeing whether there's a credible solution for it, and if there's a credible solution, we'll put a proposal together. But
Do you have a system or a process that you like that you can clearly qualify people and understand if you can work together?
absolutely, I've actually got a course called from DM to Deal in my community, and that gives you exactly that.
The link is
Right
in
the way
the
through
description.
from what to do in the DMs and how to apply it, right the way through to what you want to achieve with a clarity call and the steps to get there, how to
Okay.
then book that onto a strategy call, and then how to close on a strategy call. So literally the whole thing is step by step outlined. Yeah.
Okay.
It-
That's
it-
very good, very handy and very valuable.
So what I have found a couple of people have had a bit of a light bulb moment with is when we've gone on a clarity call and found out where they are. I've put a proposal to them. They've accepted the proposal. I start coaching them, and then they realise that exactly what they're teaching is what they've been on the back end of the process.
Mm,
And then when they see that they've never felt like they've been sold to, they're so much more confident with doing it.
yeah,
So
that makes sense. Yeah, and so what do you usually do on the second call? The first call is to sort of qualify them, right? A little bit. What do you do on the second call?
the second call literally will be a little bit of a summary with them as to where they feel they are at the moment. Um, I'll then give them a solution for the problem, i.e.,
Mm,
well, look, this is what I'm proposing. You could do this, 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 and this. And if we set out a plan to do that, then within that period, we'll get you to there. And then I'll put a proposal to them for basically what the package will be, and then close the deal while we're on the call.
so you try to close on the second call,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
okay,
But that's why I only
uh,
want to put a proposal together for someone that's actually a potential customer. You know,
okay. And
that's
one thing I want to bring up, and it's one of the things that I learned from you,
yeah,
and I want others to hear it as well. And what I understand from how you do sales in general, uh, your concept of providing value is to provide much more value than what the person is paying for, right?
yeah,
So
hundred percent.
you sell the service, and the monetary value that your service brings should outweigh what they pay for the service in the first place, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So could you go a little bit into detail and explain that?
Yeah. At
Mhm.
the end of the day, price is what you pay, value is what you get. So I don't think anything should specifically be price driven. You know, you could pay someone, I don't know, $50 for coaching, or you could go to a high end coach that charges you $5,000 for a coaching session. The only difference you should really get with that is the value that you receive. So
Yeah,
it makes price become less relevant if you're receiving more value than you're paying. It's then about whether it's affordable or not. If you're over delivering, if I promised you that result and then you end up with double that, or you end up with that and you end up with bonuses as well, I'm sure you'd go away happy, wouldn't you?
yeah,
Whereas if I promise you something and I deliver you bang on that, you'll probably be satisfied. But you know, you have Chinese restaurants are a great example. So you get a Chinese takeaway. I don't know if it's the same in your country. It might well be. You get a Chinese takeaway. Your Chinese takeaway turns up, and they give you a bag of prawn crackers as a bonus.
yeah. I know that. Yeah.
Everyone does it, but at the end of the day, you're happy because they're over delivering.
Mm.
So why not over deliver, especially when you're small? Because the truth is, if you've got very few customers, just over deliver and don't worry about scaling yet.
And
You know.
I think your offer in your community is a perfect example. Uh,
Okay.
do you mind saying it for the people who might not know the offer?
Yeah.
Like,
Sure. Yeah. Um, right. Okay. Do you want me to put it on screen? Will that help, or is that not so much?
uh, if you want, but I'm just thinking. I think that your offer is sort of the perfect example that you offer people much more than they pay for, right? You offer the results that are what, like double
Yeah.
for what the price is, for example, for the offer to pay for the offer.
Yeah, absolutely. So the VIP offer that I was doing, I've actually changed it slightly to make it more accessible. But the VIP offer that I was doing was basically a 3 month fixed plan, which
Yeah.
has actually gone to bite me a little bit because when someone's on a subscription and then they stop paying after 3 months, you end up with a churn, which Skool don't like. And it's like,
Mm,
okay, I've had to rethink that because they're not
okay,
actually churning; they're just at the end of the plan, you know.
that's a school lesson right there.
Yeah, so that's a structural thing. Yeah. But basically, I'll put an offer together on a strategy call, promising to get someone from there to there, and I'll guarantee that they'll double their investment. And if they don't double that investment in 3 months, then I'll coach them for free until they hit
Until,
that boundary. So,
yeah, that just a no-brainer to buy an offer like that, in my opinion.
well, you know you're going to get what you paid for, unless you don't trust me. You know,
Yeah,
I mean, if you look at it on paper, you got free coaching until you've got what's been delivered. So
yeah.
that
Yeah, and the reason why I wanted to bring it up was that I think it's a perfect example. And when I was thinking about my own offer for my community, I was thinking, okay, Chris promises to double the investment, right? What
yeah
can I do to mimic that, or at least try to closely also mimic that, so that what they get is more than they paid, like, so
yeah.
that's a no-brainer. And I think you said yourself, like, make it feel like it's a no-brainer, right? So
It has to
and I
be a
think
no brainer. Yeah,
your offer is a no-brainer in my eyes.
it has to be. Why would you? It's like in my normal day life. A normal day life, like school's not normal. I sell windows, but we sell windows that give someone double or treble their investment return back. So that it's silly for them not to buy it. That's why they buy the windows.
Yeah,
You know, if you're going to ask someone for thousands of pounds, that's always going to be very difficult. But if you give someone the money to pay the bill, then why would they ever say no? So the art of it is to just over deliver and turn it into a silly decision that they can't refuse.
yeah.
Yeah.
uh,
So
it makes perfect sense to me. And right now, if you don't mind, I want to move into, like, the final part. And I don't want to get into the specific of closings, into the specifics of closing, because that could be like another full call by itself. So
yeah,
I want to avoid the closing process and all of that. But I want to talk about how all these three things that we discussed today, so member onboarding, scheduling calls with members, and during doing sales during the calls, how they all tie together into making sales. Uh, and I think that uh, what we talked about is you welcoming new members, building the relationship with them, creating the connection, try to qualify them and understand what sort of help they need and how you can help them, and finally provide the extreme value. Uh, and I think those are the key ideas in your sales process on Skool overall, right?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
so my question right now, I think, how important is to have all those three steps, all those three key ideas at the same time?
Um, I think there's some people that have low ticket communities that do very well without sales calls. I don't think it's an absolute must, but it's
Mm,
what I do well. Um, I do think that you can do a lot more with a lot less numbers with sales calls. I definitely think it's by far the most effective way forward. I mean, if you leave someone passively to upgrade on a package, you're going to have two or three times less than you are if you do it on a call
mm,
for sure. So I would say I've probably got 1 in 10 members are upgraded on a sensible package.
mm.
So, and I've seen people with communities of thousands that aren't profitable. So,
Yeah,
I definitely think that's the best way. I don't think it's the only way. It's the way I know.
yeah,
Let's put
yeah,
it
yeah,
like
yeah,
that. If you can drive huge numbers into a community and you can sell passively, you
yeah.
know, by whatever route, then absolutely, I'm not saying it doesn't work. It's not my route. I'm not a social media expert. I
Yeah.
understand the sales
So
process and the
someone
structure.
could do
Yeah,
without all three. They could do like a simple process if they would like, but essentially your process is what works for you.
I think it works. I think the benefit in understanding it the right way is understanding that it's not pushing people to buy. It's about investigating what
Yeah,
people
I
want and
think
giving
that's a
them
very
what they
key.
want.
Yeah,
And I think if you switch that psychology around, then people will be a lot less scared about doing it.
yeah,
Oh, sales call. You know,
yeah.
um, I think that's the thing. So for
And by the
me,
way,
yeah.
when you schedule a call, do you mention this to people that it will not be a sales call? I will not try to sell. There will be like three or one other call.
I don't mention there'll be a second call because there won't always be a second call.
You don't
But I
mention a
will
second call.
mention at the end of the first call that we'll book a second call if
Yeah,
if they're ready to move forward with it. So now I try and make it clear it's not a sales call, but like all of these things, if someone says it's not a sales call, everyone thinks it's a sales call.
it's still a sales call.
So I'd rather not mention it unless I have to. That's the reality of it. So yeah, look. I just think the easiest, the most efficient way forward is DM, book clarity calls, book a strategy call, close. And I
Yeah,
think the community for me is about being able to nurture people, being able to give them the benefits of being able to go on a course, um, see what works, question and answer sessions, that kind of thing. So that's the
right.
way I look at the community. So I try and look at it as a community, and then the business is it's almost like a pool of leads, if you want, a pool of people that you know, and the ones that you can help, you take and help. That's that's the way
Right.
I see
So let's say some community owners are listening, and perhaps they are newer community owners and they are thinking, wow, that's a lot of information. The process is long. There's a lot on my plate at the moment, right?
Yeah.
How could I build the process up? Perhaps there are certain parts of the process that you should prioritize with, or how would you yourself build that process if you were just starting today?
I have to say, the way I would do it is I don't want to come in and plug a course, but the truth is that for DM to deal course I've got basically gives you the whole outline of that process. Um, I would say the first thing is interact with people on DMs. They come into your group, speak to
DMs
them,
is number one, right?
find out what they want. Yeah, even if you feel like you're not saying the right things, just get to know people in the DMs. And I would try and be conscious to book a clarity call if you can to get to know
Mhm.
someone. Or group calls are great for that as well because you get to know people. And then
Yeah.
only if it's a good fit, then take it forward from there. If that direct approach is the way forward for you, it's so
So sales is number one. If everything else didn't exist and you have to choose one, it would be DMs. I mean,
it all starts with DMs.
it
Yeah,
all starts with DM.
yeah.
And
I
I
don't think you're going to book many calls straight off of a post. To be honest, it's that personal contact. It's getting to know someone, meeting them on a call. You
it's
know,
a good reminder, but
yeah,
it might not be the main way.
it's personal business at the end of the day, isn't it? I mean, I had in in my off of school business, the best I did when I was self-employed was BNI networking groups. I got
Mhm.
so much business from networking groups, and all this is online networking. But if you hide behind the keyboard and you don't get in front of people, people don't know you. So you know
And I think
that's
you have touched on an interesting point that even if you don't make a sale, and even if you have that sort of scheduling a call in the back on your head, you're still building a connection and you're starting a relationship and you're building a relationship with a person anyway, at the worst
yeah,
case
100%.
scenario.
Yeah. It's getting to know your community. It's building a better community. People know each other. I'm I'm a paid member in multiple people's groups that I know. I try not to get too involved unless I can maintain it. Otherwise, I don't. The last thing I ever want to do is cancel. I just don't, I'd rather not start in the beginning. And I just think it's all about those relationships, isn't it?
Yep.
That's ultimately what it is. Build good relationships, and you help each other. So it's yeah,
Okay. Thank you, Chris. It was great.
that's
I
all
have
right.
one. I have one last question. It's not entirely related to sales, but I hope you can still find it
Yeah.
interesting. So my final question for you is, and then we finish. What's your favorite part about running a community?
Right, okay. I love it when it's buzzing. I just like getting on with people. I love it when a load of people jump on posts. You know, yeah,
Engagement,
yeah. It's
interactions.
engagement. It's
Yeah,
engagement. At the end of the day, the business takes place inside of DMs and calls, but it's engagement. It's people, isn't it? Yeah. I
yeah,
used to
yeah.
love it in the previous community. Actually, doing the old leaderboard challenges. Um,
I remember
yeah.
that. I like that.
Oh,
I
it's
always participated.
yeah. It's probably not so appropriate now, but they were great. Times for getting to know people. So
And it was also about having fun.
yeah,
It's not only about results or lessons or value. Yeah,
yeah,
we just
yeah.
have fun. We
Exactly.
just
Yeah,
interact with each other.
yeah. It's just people. Yeah, I just love it. I just love running the school community. People pop up. It's good to speak to people you haven't seen for a while, see how they're getting on.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's what it's about. At the end of the day, there's a business behind it because I think it's probably fair to say we're all here to make money. Is that a fair comment?
I
Ultimately,
think so. I would say
but
so.
but if you're going to do it in your spare time, you better enjoy it. That's the
And you better do it with the people you like, with your
yeah,
friends, with the community around it.
yeah, 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 exactly.
Okay. Thank you, Chris. It was a great call. It was great having you. I really enjoyed.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Hope I didn't let you down.
Hope I didn't let you down with
No, 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 it's all
with
good.
my questions,
It's all good.
and I hope the questions were interesting.
Yeah, no,
Because I know you
it's all
wanted
good.
interesting questions.
Yeah, I mean, if it helps to get some clarity on that, then I think that's um, yeah, the useful thing. I always think with these things, when it comes to the business side of things, I think the shortest place from there to there is a straight line. And I think if you've got your straight line direction right, then everything works around that. That's my opinion
Yeah.
on it.